G'day and welcome to episode 2 of Beach to Bush Australia. In this episode, Lockie and I leave the Sunshine Coast. We head to Bundy where we catch up with a mate at a mate's farm, and I'm going to share with you part 1 of the interview with Jason from Jmacx. So if you like our content, hit the like button and subscribe and hit that notification bell. It'll really help us out. Thanks, legends. Alright, so we're in Childers, day 2 on the road. We left Gympie this morning, got a slow start because we caught up with family last night. But I couldn't wait to try out the travel buddy in the back of the canopy here. So we threw some pies in it. So look at that. Bit of party pies and a sausage roll. Alright, move back, Lockie. Party pies, sausage roll. I didn't even know we were going to eat it all. But anyway, we're good to go. So I just hooked this up to my 12-volt system, just in here, and just run it around the front of the fridge there. So set it on. I think I set it on about 120, so that's 2 hours, and right around here to about 180, and just left it going. Right. What do you reckon? Thumbs up from Lockie. Here we go. Oh. Ooh, everyone seems to be out in their old cars this weekend. It's a beautiful day for it. Well, it's a thumbs up already from the travel buddy. Frozen pies from Woolies. Can't beat it. Childers, side of the road pies. Cooked in our own travel buddy. Pretty good.
And look, if he loses it, or it comes out of his mouth, don't panic because he'll find it, okay? If you want, open your legs up. We'll try and make it a bit more comfortable for you. Okay, okay, good boy. Is that better? Yeah. He's very strong these days anyway. He'll get knocked off his milk probably by the end of the week, so yeah, he's rough. And don't be surprised if he knocks it out of your hands, but you just pick it up and just keep on going, that's all. Yeah, you right?
Just about done.
Good.
The little kitties are out lucky. Good tail going.
Yeah, Matilda loves that, hey? It's funny.
Alright, we're on a mate's farm at the moment, just west of Underberg, and seeing some footage there of Lockie feeding the goat. The goat's name's Chocolate. Its mum died, I think two days old or something, so they hand reared it and bottle fed it. So it's just about off the bottle now, so that was pretty cool. Lockie got a chance to feed Chocolate. Right, today is day 3 and we've got to get back on the road, so we're going to pack up the swag. Lockie's going to help Veronique to finish feeding the calves, and then we're off. Little feet.
Alright, let's come back in.
We'll take him back to mummy. Oh, don't. Here we go. Here you go.
It gets confusing because they all look the same.
The other ones.
Yeah. It's alright.
Hey Jason, how are you?
Good, Scott, yourself?
Yeah, good. We're at Jmacx today. We're going to run through a few questions on how do I look after my Jmacx suspension that's just been installed into our 79 series. So basically, what do I do? I've got the suspension kit in.
Yep.
What do I do from here?
Okay, so it's no different to your Toyota vehicle as far as maintenance and servicing. So now, if you've got a bolting cradle, for example, upon installation, once these things have been inspected on their 1000K check as a bolt retention and check everything over, then as far as the bolting cradle goes, don't touch it. So it's done. They don't have to be touched.
I've only got to come back in 1,000 kilometres, 10,000 kilometres for retensioning? Or
No. So there was a lot of, and let's call it negativity portrayed on the bolting system by companies trying to compete against it. That my bolts are going to fall out, the cradle's going to fall out, they're going to jiggle loose in corrugations. We have done over 1,000 of these in Australia. The only ones that I've ever had to touch a bolt is if they weren't installed correctly.
Yep.
In the early days, because obviously now we have trained facilities that have the training to ensure that they're done correctly. It's like anything, product's only as good as it's installed.
Yeah.
They never need to be touched.
Because I saw I think it was your second ever kit.
Yeah, for Penny Wells on top of
Yeah,
that.
that was very interesting. If you haven't seen that on YouTube, go check that out, because what do? You pull it out after?
Yeah, so they had their tray off because their tray was cracked. All their body mounts for their tray was cracked.
Mm-hmm.
So they had a lot of wear and tear because they travelled the country. Obviously, that truck was built purely for touring, towing, and they've been across the hardest terrain in the country for the last 7 or 8 years.
Episodes.
And I took the opportunity and I said to them, I want to pull your cradle out. And they're like, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm like, that doesn't matter. I want to take it out. I want to show what I suppose the misconception that's thrown in the market from other people. And there's a video and it goes into it. We pull it out, we'll show you exactly what's gone with it.
Yeah, I'll put that link in below because it was really interesting to watch.
So from that perspective, there's nothing to do. From a suspension suspension side of it is, we use OEM components as far as their heavy duty units, but they're OEM. So heavy duty control arms.
Yep.
80 series.
Well, that was my next question. It's like all the servicing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 80 series. So 80 series bushes, OEM rubber. So what we saw is a lot of companies go down to poly and they go to spherical bearings.
Yeah.
Poly doesn't last. It cracks. It doesn't do what it's supposed to do. Spherical bearings are open to the weather, so they're not really meeting the criteria of what you need. And we saw that in shocks for spherical bearings. You cannot beat OEM rubber.
Yeah.
We're not building comp trucks here. We're building touring vehicles where you want to put it in and you want to do thousands of Ks of corrugations. Spherical bearings and dirt don't like corrugations.
Yeah.
They're great for race trucks because you service them every race. But you should be able to put them in and say, I don't want to touch that for 80,000 Ks, 100,000 Ks.
Yep.
That's what it should be.
Okay.
So rubber bushings, pattern, 70 series.
Yep.
So heavy duty adjustable, so it's a heavy duty unit, but OEM rubber bushings.
Yep.
All your brakes, factory brakes.
Yep.
Now, we talk about, people go, oh, well, we could go bigger in the axle. So you've got to work within the constraints of the Toyota spec.
Yep.
So if we were to build a diff and say, the Toyota diff is too small, let's put a 9-inch in it,
Yep.
which we've done for a couple of race applications. Ford 9-inch, great, 1,000 horsepower, strong as. However, you can still only put a 31 to 32 spine axle in that housing because of the brakes.
Yeah.
Oh, well, let's just change the brakes. Right? Now it's no longer OEM, so if you're out in the middle of nowhere, how are you going to repair that car?
Yep.
How are you going to get parts to fix that car? They're not there.
So the rear brakes are now being converted to disc.
Well, they're disc standard.
Yep.
So in other countries they're drum, but
okay,
in Australia they're all disc. So
Yep.
basically all we do is we put our housing in,
Yep.
the Toyota Centre,
Yep.
we put the Toyota brakes, our axles in.
Yep.
So stronger axles, obviously we widen the track so we need longer axles.
Yep.
But yeah, Toyota brakes. So when it comes to servicing, as per Toyota.
Yep.
Diff Centre, as per Toyota. The failures that you see across the country is things where people don't follow the Toyota spec. Don't put a diff centre in without a gasket.
Yep.
It has a gasket from factory. Toyota sell a gasket, put a gasket in it.
Yep.
They're CNC machine finish. Some diffs are sheet metalish and they don't CNC finish, so they have a lot more issues. But even with CNC machining, you should still put a gasket in there.
Yep.
Toyota do it, that's what you should do. Another one would be seals. Use genuine axle seals.
Yep.
Aftermarket axle seals, 10, 15,000 Ks can leak.
Bearings?
Genuine Toyota. Or
Yep.
use a Timken. Like from a bearing perspective, Timken or someone like that make a high quality bearing, so
Yep.
Timken bearings.
So we're just about to travel around Australia with this rig towing an 18-foot caravan. We're only towing 2.7 tonne. But that was my main concern, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to go with the Jmacx, is because all Australian, we've got the servicing is all Toyota.
Yep.
I can get this thing serviced anywhere, go to a Toyota mob, and they can actually go, yep, there you go, there's the part, and happy days.
The biggest issue that we see with servicing from Toyota, and this is no criticism on Toyota, because Toyota do factory cars.
Yep.
We often see Toyota go, oh, you've got aftermarket wheels and tyres, we won't touch them, we won't
Exactly.
tackle them. That's their business model, and that's okay, because that's their business model. For our stuff, wheel bearing services don't change. Obviously removing the axles, because now they're not one-piece axle, they're a two-piece axle. So they're slightly different, but it's, you take the end cap off, take the circlip off, undo your thing, take your drive plate off, slide your axle out, but everything functions as per normal. Little issues that we've seen is where people have pulled them apart and haven't greased the spline on the axle.
Yep.
I've seen that once or twice, and the axle's been corroded in the spline, purely because it's dry.
Yep.
Mechanic 101,
Yep.
nothing should be dry in a spline.
So because you've got Jmacx distributors around Australia now, am I best to bring my truck to one of those distributors to be serviced?
You don't have to.
As in the suspension and stuff like that?
You don't have to.
Yep.
Like I said, the system's designed around basic mechanical stuff.
Yep.
Toyota have a process where, it's not a Toyota part, it's not their problem.
Yep.
That's a dealership thing, and you'll see that across multiple different dealerships.
Yep.
Most good mechanics can do this.
Yep.
The other one is we put scan barcodes on your service manual.
Yep.
So you go to a dealer, or to a mechanic, he opens your service manual, on the front page is a barcode, they scan it and it says, if you need to remove an axle, lock your diff locks before you pull an axle. The reason for that is our housing's bigger.
Yep.
It's bigger, it's stronger, it holds more oil. There's more chance of that locker dog slipping out.
Yeah.
It does it on standard housings. There was a memo go through Toyota years ago about them making it a thing because it can happen.
Yeah.
It's more prone on ours purely because the housing's bigger. But we hold a lot more oil, 3.5 litres. So we're holding nearly 2 times the volume of oil, which keeps that diff cooler, you know, is better for it. So, you know, they're the sorts of little things, so those scan tools, how to pull an axle out.
Yeah, you've thought of everything.
Well, this is a development, I suppose, where we assume that every mechanical workshop is skilled at what they do. You would be surprised about how many workshops have people in there that really don't know what they're doing. The problem is you're the end result of it.
Yeah.
You know, so we're now going, we go to long lengths to ensure that we give all the details. You know, so that it can be done. You know, there's, when you fit a core conversion, there's a barcode and it'll give you the full instructions of fitting and everything, so that anyone who services that car. When we do brakes on a car, like say for example on our Ram 1500, we have aftermarket brakes, it's all there. Aftermarket wheel bearings, it's all there on a barcode, so they can scan it. When you go to a dealer, or not especially a dealer, but a mechanic, and he goes, I know what I'm doing, I don't need to look at that. You know, if you don't read the instructions, you're not going to get the information.
Right. So, and that's what workshop manuals are there for.
That's your biggest hurdle, I think, from a mechanical perspective, is when you're travelling, is ensuring that you go to the right mechanic. And it doesn't matter whether it's a Jmacx product or anyone's product. You know, they need to know what they're doing. And at the end of the day, if you're not 100% sure, ask the question, pick up the phone, or scan the barcode in the book.
Oh yeah, cool, excellent. All right, now let's talk shocks.
Yes.
Now, I went down the Alphas because for me, Australian made, we're based out of build on the 79 around Australia, and it's Australian products. Can you just let us know a little bit more about the Alphas and why, you know, servicing on them, and why you went down that track and that path with the Alphas?
All right, so we started, I suppose, when we started going back, we picked a shock which was the Ironman Foam Cell Pro. That was our choice shock after lots of testing that we did, and from economical shock that does the job, does it well, and performs and passed all the testing. And what we've proven with that shock in the last 7 years is that we have nearly no warranties. When I do have a warranty, I pick up the phone and sort it. I have nearly no complaints, understanding that you're not going to compare the foam cell with an Alpha or a King shock, or, you know what I mean? You've got to look at what they are. But from that perspective, you can't fault them. But if you want something better and you want to stand up a little bit more, then we went to remote res shocks, you know, built. We went through multiple shocks from overseas with different companies. The problem that we kept having was supply, service, warranty, just isn't there. And we're not talking about, you know, just one overseas shop. We're talking about most of them. They're poorly warranted, poorly serviced, like just for the customer's experience. If you're paying a premium for a premium product, then you should get a premium warranty and a premium service. And we were struggling with that. So we went into the point where, how do we get around it? And like I said, this is not one, but multiple companies that we've done over the years. We needed to say, how can we make a good product, support it, service it, warrant it, and look after that customer base and give them what they need? And the answer was we needed to do it ourselves. So it's taken us a couple of years to get all of the processes together that we needed to develop it. One thing remembering is the shocks that we've been buying from other companies is stuff that we set the valving, we did the testing, we specified what the valving should be, what the build should be.
You did all the research.
We did all that, you know. We were just asking them to make it. Well, now we're going to take what we've done. The other side of it is I'm not limited anymore to what some other company will do for me. If I want to change something, make something better, then I don't have anyone telling me we won't do that for you or we can't do it. We just do it.
I'm really excited to test them out because we do a lot of beach camping. We do a lot of corrugations as well, so it's going to be, I've got the electric control in the cab, so I'm going to be playing around with that, so I actually want to sort of run through with you guys just a little bit of how-to on that. But I'm really keen to see how these things go.
And the thing with electrics, and this is kind of what got me on that, was we have so many customers put remote res shocks in their car, and they get the car, they pick it up, and they get out of the car and they play with it a couple of times, and then they go, I don't want to ride along in the car, I don't want to climb under the car. So are you getting the most out of it?
Yeah.
So with an electric shock, you literally can be there and you can go from a rough road to a smooth road, and you can dial your shock up or down.
Yeah.
You can adjust your front and rear. Obviously, as shocks work harder, as the shaft speed gets harder, the shock increases in firmness, so you can dial them down on the fly.
Yeah.
The other thing that we did was most shocks that companies make have a very small adjustment window. So whilst they might go, I've got 16 adjustments, 30 adjustments, 100 adjustments, you're only adjusting, if it's 10% or 10 kilos of force, it doesn't matter how many times you divide it, it's still only 10 kilos.
Yeah. And I love the fact also when you set it to auto,
Yeah.
when you're doing your cornering.
Correct.
Because a big truck, I've got a 4-inch lift, 35s, we're going to have a bit of weight, we're running with a tinny on the roof as well.
That's it.
As well as a caravan, but even just with a tinny on the roof, you're going to go around a roundabout like this. So how does that work?
Well, okay, so what it does, it works on G-force. So as the force increases, it will stabilise the car, so it increases the pressure in the shocks to adjust the car. So they've used this technology in race drift cars for years. This is not new tech.
Right, okay.
It just has been more specifically for that race car industry. So all of our electronics are Japanese. So we've gone to the highest end of the market to get Japanese quality, and it's got, you know, many years of testing out there. The only difference is we need to bring that into the four-wheel drive space, but also set it up because we're in corrosive conditions.
Yeah.
You know, we have conditions that, you know, like I said, race car stuff.
Up the beach all the time.
Correct. So we had to design the system to be impervious to that sort of environment. Obviously, you know, people go, oh, but what if my electronics fail? Your shocks become non-adjustable. What's the difference between not getting out of your car and adjusting them anyway?
Yeah.
It's not there.
Because it's just a solenoid actuator on the top.
Yeah. So it's basically a motor that does the adjustments for you, and then it's controlled by electronics that then can adjust that to suit, or it works off G-force. So there's a G-force meter built into it, so it can work off G-force.
Yeah.
I've got customers that have big horsepower 79s. They put the electrics in and they're running around tracks and, you know, crazy stuff. So it's got a lot more features than we even give it credit for.
Yeah.
So for example, in the race industry, and it's got the feature, we don't use it, but you can set a track up by GPS and put your shock settings for each corner.
Oh wow.
And then as you drive around the track, the GPS, when you get to that corner, it will adjust the shocks for you. So it has a lot of capability, but we don't need that because I don't remember the last time I raced the thing in my truck. So, you know, breaking down what you need out of a shock, and racing shocks aren't touring shocks. They're not designed for heavy load. In a race car, what's your weight difference? Fuel. The driver's always in it, and so whether he had a big lunch or a little lunch as to what the weight. So the weight changes in a race car are very minimal.
Yeah.
We have 30%.
Yep.
At least 30%. You can go from 3 ton empty to 4.5 ton loaded, more than 30%. So you need to have those. So we've increased the adjustability of the shock 3 times more than everyone else. So it has more adjustability because of what we do.
Wow.
So designing the shock for the application, not taking something that was made for something else and trying to make it work.
Yeah. So when I want to go forward driving, obviously I want to get a bit of articulation throughout the.
Has no effect on the shock. So shocks don't control your articulation.
Yep.
Articulation is basically length of shock.
Yep.
And spring rate.
So with the automatic on how it wants to set it to as you go around corners, does that
it would to a point, but you need the G-force to do it. So if you're just really slow and there's no force, it's not going to, but if all of a sudden the car goes like really quickly and it senses more force, you will do more. But
probably going to be a good thing, really.
Yeah.
I've just seen another YouTube channel which explained a little bit like that, and they said they put it into a manual for when they go forward.
Yeah, there's no benefit, I believe, in using the automatic for off-road.
Yeah.
The automatic is more for cornering and things like that. If you're going through a range and you've got a lot of weight, that's where it's going to pay off for you. But yeah, the other one I think people look at is articulation on these cars. These will articulate really well, but like anything, the stiffer the spring, the more weight you need to make that spring work. So you can't go and put a 4.2 ton GVM in it and think it's going to flex like a comp truck. The reality of it is you want a tourer, you want a comp truck.
Yeah.
There's no...
You got to compromise on that, son.
Correct. So these things
That's
will
what we
still articulate. They get way more articulation than leaf. However, if you want to build a comp truck, build a comp truck.
Yeah.
You know, the whole scenario around the 5-link rear end.
Yeah.
5-link, Toyota, Ford, Dodge, Mercedes, every single manufacturer, Nissan, every single manufacturer of vehicles who spend billions and billions of dollars, 5-link.
Yeah.
Why do they do a 5-link? Why don't they do a 4-link?
The 5-link obviously works.
5-link is designed for cars that will A, carry load and B, tow. 5-link, and if you go to the Bosch Engineering Handbook, which is the Bible for engineering, 4-link is buggy suspension, drag car suspension. It's designed for stuff that's either light or goes in a straight line. Surely we're not cleverer than Toyota. I don't believe we're cleverer than Toyota. What we've given you is what Toyota don't option in a 79.
Yeah.
Just purely that, and we're able to go to these extra lengths, you know, so like with the big chassis work we do, if you want to start pushing the boundaries, then you go for bigger and heavier chassis, but we're not taking anything that Toyota haven't already done. You know, I don't believe I'm smarter than Toyota. I'm just offering something that they don't offer in that vehicle.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely fantastic. And I did a lot of research on this to actually, you know, you're going to spend a lot of money on these trucks when you do a build like this. So I just wanted to do a lot of research, and everything was pointing back to Jmacx to get this system done. I'm actually really keen to get it out in the bush now, get it on the beach, get it towing. I'll be doing some reviews later on, probably 3 months time to 6 months time. You know, will be before and after of towing the caravan, and yeah, I'm just really keen to sort of get it out there and give it a go.